This lesson is after we have learned solving quadratic equations by factoring, solving quadratic equations by quadratic formula, and also after we have learned completing the square to find the vertex. So in this lesson, we are going to combine all the methods together to solve for the word problems. So question 1 is, the path of a basketball shot can be modeled by the equation h equals negative 0.09 d squared plus 0.9 d plus 2, where h is a height in meters and d is a horizontal distance of the ball from the player in meters. So if we sketch it, it will be the initial height is 2 meters. So the C value is the y-intercept. And the D is the distance from the player in meters. So, and it's open down. So it's kind of like a path of the basketball in this way. And here is a player, okay? So the horizontal distance from the player is your D, the x-axis. So question A asks you what's the maximum height of the ball. So whenever you see the question is asking you for maximum or minimum, then you know that you are looking for vertex. And the given equation is in standard form. So for quadratic equation, standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. So from standard form to vertex form, they could use completing the square. So vertex form is a bracket x minus p bracket squared plus q. So once we find the vertex, then we know at vertex we have the maximum if the a value is negative. The problem is open down. You will have maximum height at vertex. So our task is convert the standard form to vertex form. So we are going to take the a value out of the first two terms with variable d. And remember, you only need to take the a value out, not the common factor from the first two terms. So take the negative 0.09 out means each term in the bracket divided by negative 0.09. So you will have d squared in the brackets. So on the second term, you do the division, you will have negative 10d. The constant, we just leave it outside of the bracket. And after that, what we are looking for is numbers that I together is negative 10 but equals. So negative 10, this is your b value. The half b is negative 10 divided by 2 give you negative 5, negative 5. And the times together is a half b bracket squared give you 25. So you have the two numbers times together give you positive 25. And the I together is negative 10. The two numbers is negative 5, negative 5. Then these first three terms, you factor it will be d minus 5 times d minus 5 give you d minus 5 squared. And inside the bracket, we don't have constant here, so we need to minus 25. Then you will have 25 minus 25 give you 0. So you didn't change the expressions. Because we use the 25 to make the perfect square of negative d minus 5 bracket squared, so negative 25, we didn't use it, we are going to expand it and times it with a value, then plus 2. So this term is a times b over 2 bracket squared, then plus c. So we combine these two constant terms, then you will have the vertex form 0.09 bracket d minus 5 bracket squared. Use your calculator, times it out, you will have plus, this one is 2.25, then plus 2 give you 4.25. So this is your vertex form. Compare it with the vertex form, you will see the vertex is 5, 4.25. So it means at this point, d value is 5, y value is 4.25. And we are going to answer write the statement. The maximum height is 4.25. So this is done for question A. And for question B, it asks you how far from the player does the ball hit the ground. So from this question, we are looking for the d value. And in the equation, we have h and d, two different variables. So in one equation, we could only solve for one unknown, one letter. So the h need to be given. And hit the ground, the height will be 0. So we sub in the 0 for the question B. So height equals 0, then we are going to have 0 equals negative 0.09 d squared plus 0.9d plus 2. So this is a quadratic equation, and we are going to use a quadratic formula. So in order to do that, we want to move everything to one side and make sure the a value is. So normally we want to put the a value as a positive, so we could move everything to the other side. Then when you move something to the other side, you are going to do the opposite operation. So minus 9.09 d squared will be plus. It will be positive, and the plus 0.9d will become minus 0.9d, and the plus 2 move to other side is minus 2 equals 0. Then we have a equals 0.09 and b equals negative 0.9 and c equals negative 2. Then we are going to use quadratic formula. So d equals negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Then we are going to sub in the given information. The b is negative 0.9, so we are going to scroll down, equals negative bracket, negative 0.9 bracket plus minus square root, negative 0.9 bracket squared, minus 4 times 0.09, then times negative 2, all over 2 times 0.09. Then get your calculator, you will have d equals positive 0.9 plus minus square root 1.53. And remember 4ac times it first. This is multiplication. Then after that subtract all over 0.18. Then plus minus is two solutions. You will have d equals 11.87, and another one will be, this is plus sign. The d subtract sign give you negative 1.87. 1.87 is on other side of the player, so the player is kicking this way, so we are going to ignore this x-intercept. So the answer will be the ball hits the ground. Hits the ground at 11.87 meter from the player. So this is done for question B. Then for question C, the question asks you how far horizontally from the player is a ball at height of 2 meters. So this is again ask you for d value, how far from the x coordinate, horizontal distance, and at height is 2 meters. So in this equation you have two variables h and d. You want to solve for d, then h need to be given. So it's kind of, you draw a line, then at t equals 0 is 2 meters, then they want you to find, now t equals 0, the distance is 0, is 2 meters, so you want to find another meters. So we are going to see that h equals d. So that is question C, h equals d. So instead of 0, we are going to put 2 equals negative 0.09 d squared plus 0.9 d, then plus 2. So we are going to move everything to the left side to make the a value equals positive. So we are going to have 0.09 d squared minus 0.9 d. Then this one becomes negative 2. 2 minus 2 give you 0. So equals 0. Then we have two terms. We could common factor these two terms. So you factor d out. 0.09 d minus 0.9 d, then equals 0. So here you have two factors. This is d is one factor, another one in bracket. This is another factor. Times together equals 0, then each factor could be 0. So when d equals 0 times another bracket give you 0, or another bracket equals 0, then times d will give you 0. Then, sorry, we take the d out, then this one will be 0.9. So each term divided by d, so this one will be negative 0.9. Then in order to solve for d, this is a linear equation, we are going to move the numbers to other side, isolate d. So minus 0.9 to other side will be plus. So equals 0.9. Then 0.09 d left. In order to solve for the d, we move the 0.09 to other side. This is a multiplication. Opposite operation is division. So we move 0.909 to other side is divide. Then we will have d equals 10. So from the graph, we are going to know that the ball will reach 2 meters at 10 meters from the player. T equals 0 will be the initial height. The ball will reach that height at at 0 meters from the player 2. Okay. And the last question asks you what's the initial height. Actually, we have figured it out already. In order to find the height in the equation, you have two variables, then the d need to be given. So initial height means at 0 meters from the player. So that is a sub in d value, then the c value is initial height. So for question D is d equals 0. Initial height is a starting point. So the height equals the c value is 2 meters. Then this question is done. So we are going back to make a summary of this question. So if you have a word problem, first thing, try to sketch it. If a less than 0, it will open down. Then after that, you have 3 key points: the x-intercept, y-intercept, and vertex. So the first question A asks you for vertex, then we know that you want to convert it to vertex form. Then for vertex form, if from standard form, you could use completing the square. And for the question B, it asks you how far from the player does the ball hit the ground. So ask you for the x-axis, then we need the y value given, the h given. So hit the ground, h is 0. And the c is asking for the x on the x-axis, then you need to give the y value given. And the last one asks you find the height, then the d need to be given. In an equation, you have two different variables, then in order to solve one variable in one equation, you need to have another variable given. Okay. So for y-intercept, substitution method. Substitute d equals 0, then you are able to find the h. For d, then you need to give h a value, then use a quadratic formula or factoring method to solve for the d. We also could call it solve for x-intercept. So for the vertex, then if it's in standard form, completing the square. So only 3 different types of questions: y-intercept, substitution, x-intercept, solving equation by quadratic formula or factoring, vertex, completing the square, all from factor form. Find the x-intercept, then midpoint. Find the p-value, x-coordinate of vertex, then in order to find the y-coordinate of vertex, substitute. So most of the time, when you are looking for y value, you just sub in the x value. So this is for this question. Then we are going to see the next question. So example 2, a cliff diver dives from a height of about 17 meters from the water. The diver's height above the water is h in meters, and after t seconds is modeled by this equation. H equals negative 4.9 t squared plus 1.5 t plus 17. It asks you how long. It asks you for the t value, then we know the h need to be given. So h, if we sketch it, it is negative 4.9 t squared, so it's open down. Initial height is 17, the c value. And the x coordinate is time in seconds. So it's open down, so it's kind of, you have a graph this way. So you have y-intercept, x-intercept, and you have vertex. And these three key points for a quadratic relation. So this one, it asks you t value is the diver in the air. So here is water. So here is water. So in the air means from the diver dives until hit the water. So it will be finding this point. So this is x-intercept. And at this point, the height is 0. So now we know the height is given is 0 meters. So let h equals 0, then you will have only one variable left. Then we are able to solve one variable in one equation. Although you have t squared and t, they are same letter, they are same variable. So this equation, we could move the negative t squared to other side. You could just leave it this way, but it will be easier for you to do it this way. When you do the division in the quadratic formula, you don't have 2 times a negative, okay? So a equals 4.9. Remember, a, b, c is just a number at front of the variable. So no variables, no t in a, b, or c. C is constant term. Then use a quadratic formula, negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So the important thing for this equation is subbing h equals 0. Then after that, it just use a quadratic formula and do the sub-in. So negative 1.5. Negative give you positive. Square root bracket negative 1.45 bracket squared. So b squared will give you positive all the time. Then negative 117 all over 2 times 4.9. Then use your calculator to find out the answer. So t equals positive 1.5 plus minus 9.8. So use your calculator to find out what is under the square root. It will give you 2.25. This is 2.25. Then times 4ac together, it gives you negative is positive. Then you will have 333.2. Then square root I together give you 300. 35.45. Then when you use a plus sign, it will give you 2.22, and the negative sign give you negative 1.72. Then negative 1.72 is before the diver starts to dive, so we ignore this one. It's not, we don't know where the diver is before t equals 0. So we start t equals 0, then we are going to count the diving. So therefore, this one is 2.22. So therefore, the diver is in the air for 2.02, sorry, 2.02 seconds. So the diver is in the air for 2.02 seconds. So the negative, we don't know where the diver is. It's not counting as a pass of the diver. Okay. Example 3 is a local artist does pencil portraits at a mall. She charges $22 per portrait, and at this price, she could sell 27 portraits a week. She decides to increase the price. For every $2 increase in price, she will lose 3 sales per week. It asks you what new price will maximize her revenue. Although this equation is given, but I want to show you how to get that equation set up. So we are going to draw a chart. It will be easier for you to understand how to set up that equation. So the revenue equals the price times the quantity. How many portraits sold? So this is quantity. And this is a unit price for per portrait. These two times give you the revenue. So for the original one, is price is $22. The price original one is $22, and the quantity is 27 portraits sold. So the revenue, not $27, 27 portrait. So the revenue will be times together. That is how much money you are going to get from 27 portraits sold. And now she wants to increase the price. For every $2 increase, she will sell 3 portraits less. And if we have X times increase, then it will reduce 3 times X portrait. Then the revenue will be times these two together. So 22 plus 2x. This is a price increased. Then 27 minus 3x is how many portraits sold. So now, whenever you see it's maximum or minimum, the revenue, so you want to find the maximum revenue, then the revenue is your y value. So here we use r for the revenue. So the equation is r equals 22 plus 2x times 27 minus 3x. This one is, we call it factor form because it's 2 brackets times together, so each one we call it a factor. Then from factor form, we want to find the maximum revenue, then we know from the keyword maximum or minimum, we know that we want to find the vertex. So from the factor form, in order to find the vertex, we could find the zeros. We know that if we have the zeros, we could, from the two zeros, if we have the two zeros, then we could find the midpoint. Then that is your vertex. So if we could find the middle of the two zeros, then we could find the x value of vertex, and sub in we could find the y value of the vertex. So this is what we want to do. So the zeros, then we are going to let y equal 0. So we have r equals 0, then 22 plus 2x times 27 minus 3x. So we have this factor form, then each factor will be 0. So 22 plus 2x equals 0, or 27 minus 3x equals 0. Then you will see we reduce quadratic equation x squared, the degree is 2 to 2x to the exponent 1 equation, linear equation. When we have one x in the equation, we could isolate this x by moving the numbers to other side. So 22 plus 22 move to other side, opposite operation is minus. So 22 is negative 22. Then in order to solve for x, we move the 2 to other side by doing opposite operation of multiplication division. So we have x equals negative 11. Then we do the same thing, solve for the x in another equation. We move the minus 3x to other side, you have positive 3x plus 3x. Then we move the 3 to other side by doing division. Then we have x equals 9. So these two are the x-intercepts for the quadratic expression. So from these two, we want to find the midpoint. The reason for that is the midpoint of the two x-intercepts give you the vertex. So midpoint means average of the two x-intercepts. Then I together divided by 2 is giving you the average. So you will have negative 2 over 2 give you negative 1. So this is the p-value. We want to find the q-value of the vertex. Then we sub in this into the equation, 22 plus 2 times 1, then times 27 minus 3 times negative 1. Then you will have this one is negative 1, bracket again, then you will have 22, 2 times negative 1, we do the multiplication together is minus 2, you have 20, then times 27 minus 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. So 27 plus 3 give you 30. Then you will have 600. So then it means the revenue maximum is 600. And the price, we are going to sub in the negative 1 here. So negative 1 give you the new price is $20. And the quantity we sub in, you have 30. So the statement we are going to have is, therefore, the new price is $30. That will maximize the revenue. Thanks for watching.